So Dave, you know the difference between the white boxers and these?
I give up what?
Depth charge underwear. It hides
Say-
the fear.
Say no more.
Yes. Oh, welcome to the Forward Engine Room. I'm Cod Director Paul Ferrace, and with us today is Dave Cracy, our Maintenance and Restoration Manager. We're in Cod's Forward Engine Room. We have two because the Gatos were the first class of fleet subs, by the way, to be built with two separate engine rooms. The previous fleet subs, the Gar class and the Tambers, had one very big engine room where they had their four mains and two auxiliaries under the deck in one big engine room, which of course probably had very good engineering rationale behind it. However, if you have uncontrolled flooding in the engine room, you were screwed because you could not get to the surface if your engine room was flooded. So the Gatos, just before the war, the Gatos were designed and finalized. The Gatos were stretched about 5 feet, and they put a pressure-proof bulkhead. They divided the engine rooms, the engine room into two engine rooms with volume such that if one of them flooded, you could still get back to the surface. So these were the more survivable fleet boats, more so than the Sargos, Salmon class, the Tambers, and the Gar class. But we have two mains. They're V16. What model are these, Dave?
GM 248A.
248. So the 248 16-cylinder, it's a welded block engine. The Navy loved these things. They went to GM and said, hey, we want you to build thousands of these. GM said, not the 248 because it takes too long to weld up the blocks. We're going to re-engineer it for mass production. They used a cast block, and those were the 278s. So we had among the last of the 248s, and the boats like Cobia and Croker, they got the 278s. But let's turn around. Evan, turn around. Show us the watertight door right there. Before we talk about the distilling plant, Dave, I see a big manifold over there. What the heck is that over there?
It's for fuel oil.
The fuel oil. Yeah, get that in there.
Your fuel from this intake goes to the manifold, and you can route the fuel to any tank you want.
So this is where the gas tank is, huh?
The gas tank, yes.
So do we have a locking gas cap to keep the Japanese from siphoning our fuel?
I hope so.
And I see behind the door a fuel oil strainer right behind the door. Go ahead and pop that on. Hopefully our housekeeping is sufficient. Where's Daryl when you need him? He would be able to tell me all about that thing. But anyway, so above us, outside the superstructure, is the refueling manifold where you took on your diesel. But let's start here at this bulkhead. This is one of the prime reasons why the American fleet boat is the luxury liner that it is. We have two distilling plants. Now, as constructed, the fleet boats had Kleinschmidt distilling plants. Now, basically what you're doing is you're taking salty seawater, you're heating it up with electric heating coils under a partial vacuum. That means that you don't have to bring the water up to 212 to start boiling. If you're at Mount Everest, which is higher, lower pressure, the water will boil, at 180 degrees, saving energy. So what we're doing is kind of recreating Mount Everest in there by having that vacuum. So we use less energy. We're collecting the steam, that's distilled water, and of course that is pumped to first the battery freshwater tanks, potable water for the crew, and then water for washing. But the Kleinschmidt stills were a little, what would you say, maintenance nightmares. they were rather persnickety, and they often required a lot of maintenance. So not everybody got the full 2,000 gallons a day capacity, 1,000 for each of your stills. During the war, the Badger Company said, we got a better idea. So they had the Badger stills, and we were refitted at Mare Island in 1944 with the improved Badger stills. Badger was purchased by GM. These, again, produced 1,000 gallons a day each, but they were more reliable, and if you operated them properly, you could get 2,000 gallons a day of water. And we know that because Howard Doggy DeShong, who was a motor Mac, and I believe that was his engine, he paid attention during the briefing at Mare Island on how to run these things so he could crank out the full capacity. And the captain was so enamored with the fact that he could have unlimited fresh water that he told Doggy, I got plenty of motor Macs, you make fresh water and I'm happy. Well, in his spare time, you know what Doggy was doing? He had his own still down below, because the Badger stills are a little more compact than the old Kleinschmidt, so there was room down below for him to make his own little still, and he was distilling torpedo fuel alcohol. That's another story for another day. So right here you got your drive mechanisms. Now here's the drive motor. There is a shield for the drive belts, but the Navy took that down, and we concur with that because that would decapitate most people. We left this one up. So these, when you're running on the surface, you've got no end of electrical capacity. So you can run your stills, because you got 5 diesels. We got 4 mains and 1 auxiliary. You can run your evap's. Unfortunately for you submariners on the smoke boats with snorkels in the Cold War, snorkels don't allow you to run all of your diesels. So you could only run 2 diesels, and that meant your electrical capacity was diminished. So they had to go back to the bad old days of kind of rationing, being careful with the water. But on Cod, World War II, Doggy told me that the cooks got a shower every day, but the enlisted general crew got a basin bath every day and a shower every 3rd day. So we had the water. So those are the stills. And over there around the corner, behind some stuff, that's the evaporator control panel.
Powered off the auxiliary control.
Powered off the auxiliary control.
Yes, 250 volts DC.
Oh, I love the way you talk, nasty. Okay, now we'll just kind of do a general walkthrough. The 248, these are the engine air intakes, port and starboard. If Evan will just do a quick rotate up, you'll see the air intake for the room. Dave, can we cycle that easily without waking the dead? Hey, somebody pull Dave forward. You need me to help?
I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning.
All right. So here, Evan, get a picture of the magic in the thing, and I'll use my Herculean muscles. Oh, Daddy, I hurt my back.
Again.
Well, they would have to do it every day. Were these were manually opened, huh?
Yeah, there's no hydraulics on these.
Yeah.
They're all manual.
Not like those later. But so yeah, I'm opening up a 150-pound steel plate in the air intake. Evan, get a picture of this, because I can't do this all day. See that? There's your main air induction for the engine room. All right. Okay, we're gonna let that go up there. So that's how air gets into the engine rooms, and it's sucked in to the air intakes. So since we're on the surface 95% of the time, we're generally running the engines all the time we're surfaced. There's a pretty good draft of air coming from that center line overhead intake into the forward end intakes, which means that your wet laundry or damp laundry can be hung forward, port and starboard, and it dries pretty quickly. Of course, The airflow is a factor, as well as the 20-ton steel engine running pretty hot. So that's going to dry pretty good. Dave, we've got some work going on. Give us a little explanation of what we're looking at. Some original painted surfaces from Cod's construction 83 years ago.
Right, you can see them in full view because we took down this plenum, this ventilation plenum, to do some work, and lo and behold, like, we might have some original paint here. It used to be white, now it's sort of an off putty white.
Now, why are we taking plenums down, Dave?
Just for the hell of it.
Oh, come on. No, well, they were frozen in place.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The whole ventilation supply inboard valve right here,
Nasty looking thing.
it was frozen open for I don't know how many decades. We want to get it loosened up so that we can close the daggone thing every winter like we do the induction valves.
Okay.
Plus, we can, if we get it operating again, we can get a red and a green light on the contact maker, and it'll show up on the Christmas tree and also this Christmas tree back here.
The auxiliary Christmas, we want to have our red and green lights. Okay, so that's ashore, and so for a short period of time, we have a little extra headroom right here next to the laundry drying. While we're looking in the overhead, I want to point out we have our torpedo detonator canister, 3 detonators. We have 3 brackets to hold lithium hydroxide, CO2 scrubbers. Now, 2 are empty. This one still has a canister of about 20 pounds of lithium hydroxide in case we're down here too long and we can't surface, which happens frequently. Flashlight locker right here, always painted orange. Don't fall over. We have our tool chests, which double as seats. Doggy used to sit there, and sometimes the guys would sleep on these things. A little writing table, our brown instrument, and in the overhead here I have the brown pyrometer, which reads from 0 to 1200 degrees. That's hot. We could fry an egg on these things. We have our manual exhaust controls because you're opening and closing the exhaust.
Right, when, for instance, the number 2 exhaust valve, outboard valve, inboard operating gear, that's what this does. There's also a number 2 exhaust valve, outboard operating gear up there.
Is that manual or power?
It's hooked to this.
It's hooked to that, okay. So, you know, unlike your car, you know, which doesn't have a valve on the exhaust, because we dive underwater, we have to have 2 valves on our exhausts, each one of our exhausts. That would make sense.
The outboard valve, which is out of view, and the inboard valve right here.
Inboard valve. And of course, port and starboard. Over here we have our control panels and the mechanism for air start. These are air start. They use compressed air to get the cylinders rolling and fired up. And we also use compressed air to stop the doggone things, right? So here's our gauges and tach meters. We do run, my crew got all 5 of our diesels back in operating condition. We don't run the ones, numbers 1 and 2 in the forward room because down below, where we're gonna go in a minute, our lube oil sumps still have Cosmoline. A company donated $17,000 worth of oil and services to refurbish the aft sump, and the 3 engines in the aft room we do run. But Dave, there's 2 access points to the bilges. I'm kind of a portly gent, so I hear this is the smaller one. The forward one is the more commodious, accessible one.
The most accommodating.
Accommodating. Join us, if you will, in the bilges of the forward engine room. Open her up. Now, we placed these rubber mats in here for a couple of reasons. There would have been matting in the engine rooms. for various reasons, sound attenuation among them. But we also don't want to wear down the diamond plate. We have noticed that the diamond plate in the highly trafficked area was starting to wear down. So this non-historic material will protect that for forever. So Dave, you head down there first. And then I'll join you, and then followed by Evan.
Come on down.
Hey, is that a dancing girl down there?
That's Johnny Olsen.
Hey, Paul, give us a smile.
Dave, I don't need help. You don't need to touch me there.
No. It was worth a try.
Okay. Oh, wait for Evan to get down here. Okay, Evan, hand me the camera. Is it running?
Yep.
It's running. Okay. Let me, hold on. Let me find a place where I can hide out.
And I can make my grand entrance.
You can make your grand entrance. Make your grand entrance. Oh.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah. Okay, so for you people who think that we're cheating you out of the whole schmear, here we are down in the forward bilges of our forward engine room. Dave, what am I looking at here? That's a big
This is the
sea chest. Sea suction?
the C-suction valve for the number 1 and number 2 motor generator sets. You can see the backup valves are missing on both sides. That means we cannot bring cooling water into our number 1 and our number 2.
Well, there's a reason. Where are those pumps? Are they?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Of course I'm going
here's
to
one.
ask. Okay, so they're not mounted. We have them.
Yeah.
Okay. It's, I think, a good time to point out that the diesels are not turning the propellers. They're coupled to 1,100 kilowatt DC generators making electricity, and that power is then fed to electric motors. So,
Right you are.
yes.
It's an ideal usage for maritime use.
Thumbs up to those EB designers or those Navy Bureau construction and repair. Now, we're on a platform deck. I'm resting my foot on, is that the pressure hull? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What do we got here? We got 2 tanks and a sight glass. Several sight glasses. Are these are the lube oil, I believe.
That's my guess.
Daryl, chime in. What are we looking at here? Yeah, probably lube oil. They should be marked. Look at the top. But I do believe these are the lube oil holding tanks. We also have lube oil elsewhere. And the day tanks for the fuel. Each room has a lube oil. Now, I don't know what we're going to be able to see. Dave, if you can come toward me. And we'll have Evan work around. This is like the Marx Brothers.
Oh.
That's one of the coolers. We have an inner loop and an outer loop. The inner loop is fresh water. The outer cooling loop is seawater. So that's how the engines cool themselves. Not unlike a nuclear reactor. And I'm looking at the bottom of the stills. Frankly, I don't know where the hell Doggy would have put his still for torpedo juice, but yeah, he found room down here to put it. So these are the blowers. Here's the blower drive for the engines. At the back end, we'll see the generator sets. And what is this stuff? So we have Garlock down here for
Yes, that's
for
what-
gaskets.
We store a whole bunch of stuff down here, including some gasket material. We go
Yeah.
through it a lot.
I'm sure we do. And then that thing in the middle is, what is that?
Looks like a centrifuge.
That's a centrifuge. Again, there are centrifugal oil purifiers and fuel oil purifiers. And, you won't find those in the after room because there's a giant auxiliary diesel right where we're sitting right now. But look at those beautiful inspection plates in kind of Rust-Oleum red against the silver.
Yeah.
That's quite pretty.
Lead red.
Yeah. And of course, they have a lot of light down here. So you're standing on, I believe, probably the day fuel tank.
The day tank is on the other end.
So this is lube oil?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, our viewers don't want to hear pretty sure, especially where Daryl, if you were here, I was hoping you would be here today. But anyway, so yeah, here's an emergency light. And anything down here we need to show it. I don't think we're going to get it. We'll lift up the hatch to the after bilge, but I'm not going to ask even Skinny Dave to go down there. So as you can see, in fact, tell you what, let's point your camera down here in the bilges. Now, during the Navy inspections, we were told that we had immaculate bilges. Now, there's dirt down there because we flooded the forward engine room. A few years ago, we were running all of the engines in the after room, and because there was a cross connection for the cooling water into the forward engine room that was open and we didn't know, we put about 4 feet of water in here. So that's probably lake sediment. We did it twice. First time accidentally, second time to prove a theory. So maybe we don't get quite the immaculate rating, but those bilges are still pretty good compared to most ships. All right, let's get out of here because frankly, I think somebody was eating beans today. Now I know not to grab here because the locking mechanism
Is non-existent.
well, yeah, it was there one time, I think. Boy, I really gotta pass on some donuts occasionally.
Well, let's not get drastic.
All right, Dave, would you secure that hatch?
Secure the hatch.
Now, was it the engine room bilge hatch that Dick O'Kane walked in on an inspection tour of Tang and he fell down and broke his ankle? Ooh, I would not.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, well, it was. It wasn't the worst thing that happened to him. All right, so, Dave, do the honors. Now, this one has that great little... Oh, come on, that's simple.
Go for it.
No, I was going to say, I'll stand up here and look on. Let's send Evan down there. Evan, go down there. Give me the camera.
No, I got it.
He can do it one-handed. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, I dropped some chewing gum there last summer. If you find it, hand it up.
Might still have some flavor.
Oh, definitely would have submarine flavor. Maybe it would be as flavorful as Super Submarine cereal. While you're down there, see if you can find an equipment ID tag so Daryl doesn't yell at us for not knowing the purpose of that equipment right there in front of you. Oh, he likes those red and silver plates. All right. Well, the skipper has solved the mystery. They are both Sharple's fuel oil purifier and lube oil purifiers. So these are two centrifugal purifiers. You want to separate water from your fuel and lube oil, as well as any contaminants. So you spin it in a vertical cylinder, and the heavy material will go to the bottom, to the outer walls, I should say, And the inner surface will be the pure stuff. So you draw that off. So centrifugal filters, they don't need filter material. You spin it and suction it off in the center, and you get the pure oil, fuel oil, and lube oil. And these are made by, well, the aft one is Sharples. They are both Sharples Corporation of Philadelphia. So, yeah. Hey, you know what? This is a nice little place down here. You could throw a mattress down here and have a place to take a snooze when no one's looking. We also have this gray stuff is absorption mats. So I'm on top of the lube oil and fuel oil tanks, and so you're going to suction it up into the centrifugal filters and then feed it into the engines, both for lubrication and fuel.
Watch your head.
Wait a minute, where are you?
Right here. I'm filming you.
Are you behind me? Oh, you're up there?
Yep.
Here's some historic clothespins that we found. Take those away.
Okay.
So we're learning quite a bit. Again, Daryl, you would know this, but hey, you're not always here, so we need to learn. So we have our lube oil and our fuel oil centrifugal filters. The large tank between the two generators is clean fuel oil tank number 1. So you pull that raw fuel from wherever it is, ballast tank or whatever, fuel ballast tank, run it through the purifiers, and then you put it in your clean fuel oil tank right here, so it's ready for consumption by the engines. There's actually quite a bit of shelf space down aft against the bulkhead separating the two engine rooms, and some of the stuff you saw spread out down here frankly could probably be stowed away so that we might be able to clean and maintain this area a little better, and maybe make it visible to folks who might want to see. All right, well, you know, it's good to get down here. I'm very proud of the fact we have dry bilges, thank God. And the only dirt down here is what we put there in the last few years. So El Capitano's coming topside. For those of you that wonder how much room there is, it ain't 6 feet. So, and I'm standing on a platform deck. I probably have another 1.5 to 2 feet underneath this platform deck. So basically, you know, the construction of a fleet submarine, you have a cylindrical pressure hull, 16 feet 1 inch in diameter, with a platform deck right through the middle. So the volume above is equal to the volume below. So again, anybody that loses cell phones, watches, glasses, what else have people dropped down here?
Jewelry.
Well, I didn't see any jewels. So yeah, it's a pain in the butt to have to get down here and fix it and retrieve it. All right, so again, I'm coming up. So much for keeping my jacket clean. But Motor Max, this was something they did frequently, so you like seeing old people struggling, don't you, you sadistic SOB? Oh, what I won't do for our viewers. All right, so go ahead and secure that. Dave, we're getting near the end of this tour. Have I missed anything of importance?
Oh, glad you asked. The most important instrument of the forward engine room, the level indicator for the number 3 sanitary, right here.
I always knew you were full of...
Look, don't.
All right, well, that way we're going to be able to tell just how full of crap. All right, and yeah, he hit his head on the... see, even Evan is giving of his body for our viewers. You have some great B-roll of the squirrel cage blower. How many skeletal remains were there of squirrels that powered that?
I lost count.
Okay. Well, as we get back here, I see we have our lighting motor generator number 1. Because AC power isn't generated, you can't run an extension to the shore. So we're making DC, but some things aboard the boat need AC. So we have our lighting motor generator sets. Well, lighting motors, that's DC, isn't it?
In this case, it's simply DC to DC.
DC
But
to
yes,
DC.
we do have AC MG
AC
sets
motor
as well.
generator, yes. And of course, the thing is on submarines, particularly this is important for museum boats, there was a color code system. Black was used for electrical control cabinets, but over the years, civilian custodians, when paint would flake or get dirty, they would just slap on some Rust-Oleum gray or whatever color they had, and we lose that color coding system. So here, electrical boxes are black, storage lockers, gray. We have a spare heat exchanger next to the mechanical opening system for the air induction. And here is the miniature Christmas tree. And when you're done, we're going to be able to light this bad boy.
You want to see a red light?
Oh, we're going to see a red light. There we go.
And then green light?
Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Fred Tannenbaum. There's a lighted light for you to see.
Speaking of MG sets, the number 3 ICMG set, it is DC to AC.
DC to AC. And over here's our little manifold, lube oil, sump, number 1, sump oil number 2, and whatever that says, capacity 673 gallons. Yeah, so here's your little manifold to know how much lube you got in your sumps. And then some more lockers and the distilling plant vapor compressor, electrical controls. Dave, why the heck is it way back on the aft bulkhead when they're up forward?
Probably just they didn't have space for it.
It's not perfect, but you have just gotten a tour of the forward engine room. Suffice to say, the engine rooms were loud and breezy on the surface, quiet, very hot, submerged in combat. If it's peacetime or you're not in a combat situation, you submerge. The captain can elect to run the air conditioning to cool the boat down, and certainly we can ventilate the boat. We can share the heat, share the love throughout the boat. But ventilation, blower motors, and the AC both tap the batteries quicker and certainly make noise. So in combat situation, Doggy DeShong said that it would get quite hot in here. Now, for some veterans, they seem to, the temperature increases every year, but Doggy was pretty level-headed. He said it got to be about 110, and they would sit here on their toolbox benches with a towel around their neck in their underwear and just kind of sweat it out, waiting for the ability to surface and ventilate the boat. But yeah, the engine rooms. You don't have any insulation cork on the pressure hull in here for obvious reasons. It's always painted white, and you won't find dark adaptation red lighting in the engine rooms. The engineering spaces generally were always white light. So before we say so long, anything you want to add, Dave?
That covers it.
I think we got it covered, and our next visit will be in the after engine room, and we better come up with some important stuff exclusive to the after engine room so we don't bore our visitors. But remember, hit the like, subscribe, the notification bell, and we'll be back with more content. Thanks for joining us.